Hi guys, it's me, Trudy Lee. How's everybody doing? This is going to be a sad video. I might have to pause. And I'm going to pause just right now. Okay, I'm going to try to get through this. You guys that have followed me and been with me through my journey for the last few years, y'all know that last year my mother died. The year, that same year, she died last year in March. My brother's wife died in March. When my mom died, my brother had a heart attack. My brother had just lost the will to live. He really had. After his wife died, he didn't care about anything. He sold his house and his land, and he moved just recently. For a few months, he's lived in my mother's house, and he'd planned on buying it. We haven't finished the probate with her estate. She had no will, and we just have been putting it off. We just put it off. But my brother moved over there. He was so depressed. You know, he stayed here with me. We both got COVID and was sick as a dog. And he was only planning to stay here for a couple of days, and it ended up being a week. And it was such a blessing because I had a week with him here with me. And even though I was sick, I loved it. I enjoyed it. So we had that time together. But he was so sad and so depressed. He didn't want to do anything. He didn't even drive his car and go anywhere. He stayed at the house. He went nowhere. He went to the doctor. That was it. That was the only thing. He said, nothing matters anymore. My wife was my motivation for living. She was everything. She was my world. I don't know why God took her and not me. You know, they had a really bad accident with his daughter driving. They had totaled out her car, and that was right before his heart attack. It was right before my mother died. If y'all remember, I think I told y'all about it. And he said, you know, why didn't I die in that accident? And I kept telling him, it's not your time to go. You know, when it's your time, it'll be your time. And he was so depressed, you guys. He wouldn't shower. He wouldn't cut his hair. He wouldn't brush his teeth. But he took care of my mother's home. He was outside working every day, mowing her grass, taking care of the home, put a new water heater in. He was working. He was doing things. And I remember on Thursday, I like to go out on my deck, and I do healing sessions. I walk around and I do prayers and healing. And I was praying for my brother, and I was saying to please, you know, heal my brother, heal his heart, because he's so heartbroken. Please heal his heart, because he needs release from, he's under so much stress and anxiety. He has so much regret. He was a bodybuilder. He was in excellent condition, but he felt so bad that he took so many hours to himself building his body. He loved going to the gym, and he could stay there for hours and hours, and he regretted it. He said, I could have spent those hours with my wife. And he wouldn't even, he let it go. He wouldn't even lift weights. He wouldn't do anything anymore because he had so many regrets. And you know, she'd gotten into a car accident, and her car wasn't working well. And she had asked him, can I take your truck? She was going to play the piano for the church that was in their neighborhood, just a couple blocks from their house. And her car was on the fritz, wasn't working good, and it was starting to rain. And he said, he was doing something. He was working outside with his son, and I think he needed some tools from his truck. And he said, just take your car. If it stalls out, if you have any car problems, just call me. I'll come and get you. You're just down the street. So she said, okay. And she was in a rush because it was an unscheduled the pianist couldn't, was sick or something and couldn't perform that evening at the church, whatever time it was. And so she was in a hurry, and she accidentally, there was a curve, and she ran out in front of a pickup truck in her small car, and that broadsided her and killed her on the spot. And my brother felt so guilty and bad that he didn't let her use his truck. He thought if she'd have been in that truck, he has a great big old Dodge pickup truck, a really big one, 4-door. And he said if she'd have been in that truck, she wouldn't have been killed. It had airbags and everything. Her car, I guess, they didn't have airbags. So he felt so guilty. He had so much regret, and he just couldn't move past it. His heart was aching. And you know how it is when you lose somebody? You wake up in the morning and the first thing you think is them. That's what I'm feeling now. But after a while, it gets better, because your body can't continue in that stress. You can't hold that stress in your body, so you move forward. But my brother didn't. He could tell you, my wife has been dead 1 year, 4 months, 7 days and 13 hours. I mean, to the minute. He would tell you every time he talked to you, Terry's been gone this long. And his heart just, couldn't take it. It just couldn't take it. Nobody could. And he'd already had a heart attack. He'd already given himself a heart attack over it. And his daughter lived there with him, and she did her best. She bought him healthy foods. She encouraged him to shower, and she encouraged him to brush his teeth and take care of himself. And this past couple of weeks, he was saying he felt like he had gas in his chest. He said, I feel like I have some trapped gas. And my sister went there, and she gave him a haircut. She was there a couple of days before this incident happened this past week, and she gave him a haircut. That's the first haircut he'd had in almost 2 years. His hair was real long. I have some of his hair. It was still there in the trash, and I picked it out of the trash and took it. And but he said it was really hot this summer with this long hair, and my sister thought he seemed a little better, He seemed a little lighter, a little better, and he was kind of smiling when she cut his hair, and she said, I thought he was feeling better. So it was good. It was all a good thing. It felt like maybe he was moving forward, getting on the right track. But he was having these pains in his chest. And we know that that's, if you're having pains in your chest and you've previously had a heart attack just a couple months before, you ought to be going and having that checked out. Well, his daughter took him in the car and said they were going to go to the ER. She said, we need to go check this out. And he took some of his heart medication. And on the drive there, he started feeling less pressure and feeling better. And he said, turn around. I don't want to go. And she wanted him to go to the ER so bad, but she listened to him and she took him back home. So here is Friday evening. And he's sitting at the table and my sister comes in there and she sees he's sweating really bad. And he's saying, I feel like I got gas in my chest. So she went and got the aspirin, and she said, you need to take some aspirin. I'm pulling my car up to the door, and I'm going to take you to the emergency room. And he said, well, I don't know if I want to do that. And she said, well, I'm going to get my car. And she went and pulled her car up to the front door and walked back in, and he was falling over. And he fell over and had obviously a massive heart attack right there. My sister started giving him CPR, and they called 911. I had another sister that lives there. She wasn't there at when it first happened, but she walked in to my sister giving him CPR. She took over, and she's the one with leukemia and can't even breathe. She took over and did CPR. She's been trained in CPR before, She took over the CPR, and my sister got back on the phone with 911, and they sent one paramedic woman out, and she needed help, and she was asking them to help her and to assist her. And then, of course, a whole bunch more paramedics showed up, and they worked on my brother for 45 minutes. They shocked his heart 8 times. They did everything they could, and they took him to the hospital, and I had packed up my clothes. She'd called me and said, paramedics are here working on Kenan, and it doesn't look good. She said, I don't think he's breathing. I don't think it looks good. So I packed up my clothes, and I said, we're going to my brother's house. We're going to go. So we started driving, and when we were driving, my sister called me, and by now it's almost like 10:30 at night, maybe 11 o'clock at night. And she said, he's gone. He's gone. There's nothing you can do. Don't drive here it's a 5-hour drive. She said, I don't want you driving here in the middle of the night. I called my other sister and I said, what do you think I ought to do? Should I keep driving? Because I would end up being there at 3 o'clock in the morning, and, maybe that would just be more disruption for them. So we turned around. She said, we've had enough tragedy. Y'all don't need to be driving in the middle of the night. Y'all are tired, and, my husband's 74 years old. So we turned around and waited till the morning to go. So we got there. He has a son that's 28. His daughter's 31 years old. So we got there Saturday morning, and my sister came like an hour after I came. She got there too, so we were all there with them. And we're going to have a service for him, and it's probably going to take 2 weeks. They're having his remains cremated, but I had an experience while I was there that scared my husband so bad. We brought our air mattress. We were going to go to a hotel, and we couldn't get one. This town is really little, and we didn't want to go too far away. And we brought our air mattress just in case, so we just aired up our air mattress and slept on the living room floor. I wanted to be there anyway, just in case. I wanted to be there. And that morning I woke up. I didn't sleep very well. Nobody did. We had friends come over, visit, and everything, but my husband didn't sleep well. I didn't sleep well. But I got up and I started doing what I could, I like to clean, so that's my thing. I was cleaning the kitchen, cleaning out the refrigerator, cleaning out the microwave, because I was up early and everybody was asleep. Just cleaning. Made some coffee. My husband got up, I made him some eggs, and everybody else was asleep. We were sitting at the table, and all of a sudden, I had this. I'm going to describe exactly how it felt. It felt like electricity rolling up my spine to my brain. And you ever seen the TV when the station goes out? It goes white, like fuzzy white. And it was like that, like fuzzy white. And I felt like I was about to pass out. And I told my husband, I think I'm going to pass out. And of course, what do? I stand up. I get up from the table. I stand up and I said, I think I'm going to pass out. And I started shaking so bad, like having a panic attack, an anxiety attack. And my husband was rubbing my back and saying, it's okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're going to be okay. And I didn't really realize it at the time, but I was standing at the place where my brother died. I was exactly in that spot. So I did get control of myself. I kind of walked it off. I tried to walk around a little bit. And to walk off this energy that I picked up, try to release it. But I felt dizzy, really, really dizzy. And I kept feeling dizzy at the table, and I got up and my legs buckled almost, and that was like maybe an hour afterwards. And my husband was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. But I kept feeling like if I die right now, it's okay. And I think that's what my brother's thoughts were, that I'm going to die right now and I'm at peace and I'm okay. Because that's what I kept feeling. I kept feeling this, it's okay if I pass out right now and die. It's okay. It'll be okay. It's going to be okay. Of course, for my family, that would not be okay. That would not be okay for my husband. That wouldn't be okay for my sisters or my children. It wouldn't be okay. But I kept thinking that and having that feeling. It's okay. If I pass away, and I just feel like that was my brother's thoughts. That was his last thoughts. That it's okay. Because he's at peace now. So, anyway. But he's not suffering anymore, and he's at peace, and I'm happy with that. He was the most selfless brother. He would do anything for you. He did everything for his children. They loved him so much. They love him so much. His son wrote the most beautiful tribute to him that I've ever read on Facebook. I don't know if you follow me on Facebook. I'll repost it because it's so beautiful. It was really so beautiful. He has wonderful children. They're just wonderful. They've done a beautiful job with their children. They're wonderful people. They really are. But they're in a world of pain, and they've suffered so much in this past 2 years. They're young. Neither one of them are married. Neither one of them have children or anything yet. So, I'm definitely going to try to be there for them. I can't replace what they've lost, but I can let them know that there's somebody in this world that when a birthday comes, they're going to say happy birthday to them and love them and tell them they can come here anytime that they want to. Just have an open place for them. And hopefully they'll feel loved, and feel that connection. Me and my brother, we were only 14 months apart. We were Irish twins. We did everything together as kids. We really, really did. And I have wonderful memories of, growing up with him. But he was a selfless person. He did everything for anybody. He did everything for my mother. And while he was there, even though he wasn't well, he was taking care of that house and doing everything for my sisters that he could. God bless him. And I just want y'all to know what happened. And I still am doing readings. I still am doing healing sessions. I did a healing session right before I recorded this video. I grounded my energy and I went outside, and made sure I was ready to do that. So if you need a healing session, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. I'll be able to do it. When I sit down to do a healing session, I make sure that I'm under control with my emotions and my energy's under control. So I went outside and did a little energy work before my healing session that I did this morning. So if you need a healing session, I'm here for you. And just want to let y'all know what's going on with me. So if you haven't heard from me, if I haven't made any videos for a couple of days or so, maybe this week, I'll be back. Okay? I'll be back. Love y'all so much. Thank you for supporting me, listening to this video. Y'all take care. Do something kind for somebody. It'll always come back to you. Bye for now.